Hey everybody, welcome back to the Huddle, the Review.com's weekly sports show. I'm Executive Editor Rob Toder of the Alliance Review, joined as always by Mike Brown, our sports editor. And today, Mike, we're going to talk about probably one of the premier college football games you'll see in the country this year. The Mount Union Purple Raiders punched their ticket to the Stag Bowl with an exciting come-from-behind win over Mary Hardin Baylor.
And Rob, that was a classic Saturday. If you were lucky enough to be in attendance, I think that'll be a game people will be talking about years from now. I wrote in a column in Monday's review that for a non-Stag Bowl, the drama and the way that game played out was as good as I've ever seen at Mount Union Stadium.
Here's my editorial comment of the week. NCAA, what were you thinking putting these two teams on the same side of the bracket? Right. If you couldn't tell before this tournament began that these were the two best teams in the country, I just don't know what you're looking at. So that's the end of my rant. But clearly, St. Thomas could prove us wrong in the Stag Bowl, but these were two very good football teams,
oh my
heavyweights.
Goodness, yeah, it was. It's one of those things where it's a shame somebody had to lose, but if somebody had to lose, I'm glad it was them instead of Mount Union. But what a great game! It had everything. It had the drama. Mount was down by 14, and things looked pretty bleak. And you just know with Mount Union that they're going to find a way to come back, and they did, in the most exciting fashion imaginable.
Uncharacteristically, 5 turnovers for the Purple Raiders. What do we attribute that to?
I don't know. That's a good question because usually you don't see Mount make a whole lot of turnovers in big games, but it speaks to how talented they are that you're able to overcome 5 turnovers against a quality opponent like Mary Hardin Baylor and still win that game.
Yeah, one of the things, and really, to me, the one play in the first half that might have saved Mount Union was when they recovered a bad snap. It went over Burke's head.
Yes.
And they lost 28 yards on the play and they had to punt, but Mary Hardin Baylor was this close to recovering that.
That's right.
They were already ahead in that game at that point. And if Mary Hardin Baylor recovers that and turns it, they would have had the ball at about the Mount 10-yard line, and they convert that into a touchdown.
Right.
Now you're looking at a 3-touchdown difference. That completely turns that game all the way around. It probably does make it impossible for Mount to come back. So even though they didn't have a turnover on that play, just recovering the fumble really, I thought, saved Mount Union's side in that case.
Absolutely.
But the second half, I think, overlooking all the things the offense did to win that game was, I think, the defense really turned it up a notch in the second half and allowed that offense to do some things.
Right, that defense has been great all year, and they did a great job against a quarterback who'd accounted for 43 touchdowns going into that game, and I thought they did a pretty good job, for the most part, keeping him at bay because he was extremely dangerous as a passer and a runner.
And kudos to the crowd as well.
Right. Oh, it was great. Fantastic atmosphere. I was sitting in the open stands with my youngest son, and at the end of the game, when we intercepted the lateral and took it in the end zone, the sound coming from the covered stand was unbelievable. And it was neat to watch the student section go out in the end zone and celebrate with the players. That was a really fun moment.
Now we go on to Salem, Virginia for the Stag Bowl. Mount Union goes for its 11th national championship. And against the St. Thomas team. We've never played St. Thomas before, so that'll be interesting. I guess one of the keys is how do you recover from the emotion of that game,
right?
Of that semifinal.
Well, that's true. Like my old coach used to say, you're never the same team 2 weeks in a row. You're either better or worse. Mount's coming off an emotional win, but if I know Larry Karras, and this is one of his greatest strengths, he always keeps his team even keel. They're never too up, never too down, and I know they'll prepare well, and they'll be ready for this game.
Before last week, I would have said the key to the Stag Bowl is getting off to a good start. But the Raiders proved you don't necessarily have to get off to a great start. They've got the wherewithal to come from behind.
Right. You hope it doesn't come down to something like that again, but it just shows you that they have the talent. If the offense is kind of having an off day, the defense will be great, and the special teams will get you, or vice versa. So it's a nice element to have.
Okay, so make sure you follow all the week long. The Purple Raiders trek to Salem. Jeff Zupanik, who covers Mount Union for the Review, will be there all week. He'll have stories coming from Salem, Virginia in the Alliance Review. He'll also have a presence on the Review.com. We'll have videos all week. We'll have a photo gallery from the week and obviously the game itself. So make sure you check back each day, and we'll have live updates for you from Salem, Virginia.